Thanks for joining me this afternoon. This breakout room is about work-life balance God's way. I'm Ruth Tootle and I am a vascular surgeon working in Fife and Tayside in Scotland. I'm also a wife, a mother of 2 university students, one in Glasgow and another at home in Edinburgh. I'm a Christian and an active church participant, friend, housewife, with all that entails, and many more roles besides. I'm sure all of you can reel off an even longer list. I don't have any specific qualifications to talk about the subject apart from my life experience. The term work-life balance was coined apparently in the 1980s as more and more women were looking for flexible working and paid maternity leave, as they were often the primary and perhaps only housekeepers, childcare providers and child nourishers, as well as workers. Work-life balance involves looking at how working people manage all the different aspects of their life. It has often mainly looked at time management, but this is not the only important factor. Poor management of our work-life balance results in mind problems such as stress, anxiety and depression, physical symptoms of abdominal pain, headaches and loss of energy, and soul sickness with hopelessness, helplessness and poor self-esteem. Men do have issues with work-life balance, but women tend to have more roles than men, often with more responsibilities within the home and more relationships out with the home. Women tend to have more worries with regards to their work-life balance. 40% of employees in a mental health survey neglected other areas of their lives due to work. Work-related stress loses the UK 10.4 million work days per year. The more time spent at work results in more time that you are likely to worry about it. Presently, I work part-time, but this varies from 28 to 60 hours per week, and my busy weeks definitely tend to be more stressful. Lack of boundaries can result from excessive workload pressure, with our work hours extending into our other time. In the pandemic, home working, partially or completely, can also blur work boundaries. Is your living room your office, or is work calling to you throughout the evening or meal times? Technology is amazing. 20 years ago, I would never have envisaged this kind of meeting occurring from everyone's own home. However, mobile phones are now so powerful and can appear to be needing answered or used all the time, but we can and should control them, not the other way around. Burnout is a very topical subject, especially within the NHS. It is caused by unremitting stress and leads to fatigue, poor sleep, mood swings, irritability and reduced work performance, leading to a long-term significant psychological problems. Burnout can be caused by poor work-life balance. How do we try to improve our work-life balance? One way is by letting go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is not the same as having high standards. Perfectionism demands high standards, and if they're not achieved, this leads to self-criticism and negative self-evaluation. It is linked to long-term stress and early death. Our mantra should be that we should be good enough. You don't need to be a cordon bleu chef at home or the best-dressed mother picking up your child from school. The report you're doing for work, is it good enough? Or is the extra hour you spend rewriting it not better spent doing something else? Find a happy, comfortable balance for the things you can control. Everyone is in a different situation, but the goal is to feel happy where the balance point lies for you. Try to work smart, not long. Prioritize, delegate, and set time limits for tasks. Take proper breaks, at least half an hour for lunch, and if possible, go outside. I have worked through many meals and know that I get hungry and angry. how much better I feel, and therefore how much more productive I am and easier to work with once I've had a sandwich or a cup of tea, or hopefully both. Limit time-wasting activities. This does not mean that you have no downtime and no time for fun. However, do you reach for Facebook or Twitter first thing in the morning and allow it to distract you from more important things? Or do you get caught up in the office chat? Again, it's not always a bad thing. We all need relationships at work. But does it stop you from getting work done and getting home on time? Unplug from technology. This may sound impossible, and in some circumstances, it isn't possible not to take your phone into the bedroom. If you can leave it outside, you will have a better night's sleep. Can you turn off notifications when you're away from work and stop being interrupted? In addition, can you ask people not to expect instant replies when you're doing something important to you? If possible, let people know you will get back to them within 24 or 48 hours. It gives you a bit more freedom to assess any requests and perhaps to say no. Are you the person who says yes to a sudden request but then regrets it later? But do make sure that you reply when you say you will. Take time for regular exercise, walking, running, yoga, aerobics, whatever you enjoy. Also find time for meditation, peace and quiet, or positive thinking. All these things reap benefits for the body, mind, and soul. I recently heard a story about a woman who detested her job and the people she worked with because she could think of nothing positive to say about her situation at all. However, she was well paid for what she did. She could afford to go on good holidays and had a pension to look forward to. She was encouraged to think about these good things that she received from her work every day before going to work. And over time, her perception of work and her colleagues changed. I'm sure her colleagues appreciated the change too. I'm afraid I moan about some aspects of my work too, but trying to be grateful for the many good things I have is helping me to see things in a different light, making work better and reducing my levels of stress and hopefully my colleagues too. I'm fortunate that I live near a river and can go for a walk most days when I'm at home with the sound of flowing water, birds chirping away and no traffic. There are some planes taking off and landing, so it's not perfection. Changes with the seasons, different lighting, or even rain means that most walks are different and interesting. And this helps me really to reduce my stress levels. Make structural changes in your life. Do you need to make dinner every night? Can you involve other household members? Have a takeaway occasionally, or combine activities. Fill the dishwasher with a child while finding out how their day went, what was good, what was not so good, and soon you won't have to do it all yourself or rearrange the dishes in the dishwasher so they get clean. Structure is important in everyone's life. Agreeing priorities with your household, colleagues and friends, and being flexible is a necessary key. Trust in your team players. Maybe the dinner isn't quite as good as you can make, but as long as it's edible, it's a start. And passing on life skills is an important role too. Start small. Don't radically change everything from day one. If you haven't been running for years, a 10-mile run will stop you going out again for ages. And so it is with changing your work-life balance. Choose something small and achievable, and then gradually build upon that. Here are a few further thoughts. Most people think that working from home is easier. No commute, you don't have to dress up, and you can avoid the moaning colleague in the office. But then your home becomes your workplace, and there's less distinction between work and the rest of your life. You can't close the office door, get into your car or onto a bus, take a deep breath and acknowledge you've left work. Try and separate your working space at home. It is best if you can close the door on it and leave it behind, then move on to other things. Can you set your own rules? Can you speak up at work? 84% of 18 to 24-year-olds have felt stressed at work, and 40% say this is due to the workload. Up to half of employees have admitted that stress levels have led them to consider leaving their current jobs. Employers can only support workers if they know there is a problem. If you feel overloaded at work, can you talk to your line manager to offload some tasks? Or can you ask your peers for advice on how to manage your workload better? Flexible working may be an answer. Can you compress your work into fewer days and have more days off? Are you able to work some regular times but are available for extra when things get busy? Can you work around your needs while children are in school or in nursery? Can you job share? What are your employer's retirement plans or special leave allowances if needed? Flexible working decreases stress, boosts job satisfaction, and helps employees have healthier habits. The future is not far away. We need to continually review, reflect, and refine our needs, desires, and plans. What is good for us now may not be good for us in 6 months, 1 month, or a year. How to deal with stress and negativity. Hope is an optimistic state of mind that is based on an expectation of positive outcomes with respect to events and circumstances in one's life or the world at large. We all need to hope that life will be okay in the future. People are naturally hopeful beings. Without hope, animals die. Samuel Johnson said, "Where there is no hope, there is no endeavour." In the Bible, it says in Hebrews chapter 6, verse 18, we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. For me, this hope starts with my relationship with God, and it is very solid. Gratitude is the quality of being thankful, or readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. In research, gratitude has been shown to improve mental health. A group of students seeking help with anxiety and depression were split into 2 groups. One group was asked to write a letter of gratitude to someone every week during their counselling course. The other group were asked to write about their strongest feelings. The group who wrote about gratitude had better mental health, even if they did not send the letters. There was also a difference in brain activity on MRI scanning after 3 months, showing that there are long-term responses within our brains to gratitude. The Bible says in Philippians chapter 4, verse 6, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." I am fortunate that I can pray to God and give him my anxieties. And as long as I am grateful, I know that God will respond. We all need to have hope that we can relieve the major stresses in our life, or at least learn to live with them without physical, emotional, or spiritual consequences. Being grateful for the many positive things we have in life helps to improve our mood and emotions, even when we can't remove all the stresses from our life. My relationship with God helps me to deal with the difficulties I encounter. It doesn't take them away, but it helps working through them. This is a quote from Zig Ziglar, which says, "Be grateful for what you have and stop complaining. It bores everyone else, does you no good, and doesn't solve any problems." And on that note, I'd like to thank you for your attention.